Okay, on the last video, we installed the management point, and it seems to be working. At least on the monitoring node, it didn't actually show us any problem. Logs seems to be okay, but let's go a little bit further and see a couple of things on these videos. First one, is measurement point actually really working or not? Second, where is the data? And the last one is how measurement point will connect to the database and get information. So here on the documentation, the first one is the log file reference. If I go for the measurement point, we already saw a couple of those logs. We saw the npmsi and np setup where we installed, and we also have the np control. And you can see here availability of the measurement point every 10 minutes. So we check or configuration manager checks regularly if there is any problem with the measurement point. The second one I want to show you here is the account usage. And I already showed you this, but there is an account that's used for access the SQL database. And I did not do anything with the SQL. So what exactly is happening? And remember, we used the configuration manager measurement point server account, the server 004, but we could use a normal service account. In this case, remember, do not grant interactive signing for that account. And the last one, if there is a problem, how do I check? So there is this measurement point stops responding to HTTP requests. So forget the error. What I want to show you is a address. So we have this address, HTTP or HTTPS if you have a HTTPS environment. The server name /SMS_MP and .SMS_AUT ? MP list. This will list all the measurement points and then tells us measurement point is working or not. So what I'm going to do here is on the configuration manager server, let's check if the measurement point is working. So I'm going to use an Internet Explorer, but any browser will work. I'm going to browse HTTP to the server 004. If it's a HTTPS, you probably need to use the full FQDN. And I'm going to use SMS_MP .SMS_IUT ? MP list. So this will actually give me information if the measurement point is working or not. Here it returns a XML file and I can see it's working. The second one is MP cert that will show me the certificate being used by the measurement point. So seems to be working. So there is no problem. This then tells me the connectivity with the SQL and everything else is working. So now let's get where is the data? So how a client knows where to go to find a measurement point. Remember on the last video that I was talking about Active Directory publishing as well as and DNS. So let's go to the server 01, that's our Active Directory. And I'm going to open here the adsiedit. And I'm going to go to that folder we created when we extend the schema, the CN equals system management under CN equals system. And you can see here there is a folder CN equals SMS-MP- the site code. And you can see here the name of the server. And if I right click properties, you can see here there is a lot of information here about that measurement point. So this is how the client on this specific environment will find out. So if I have multiple, for example, Active Directory domains or forests, then I can tell configuration manager to publish exactly the same data elsewhere as well. The other one is DNS. So let me open here the DNS. And if I go to forward zones, the endpoint manager zones, and I have here underscore TCP. And you can see here I have underscore MS SMS underscore MP underscore 01. And this service record is pointing to a computer called server 004. So this is how the client will also be able to use the DNS for to find out who is the management point for that domain. Okay, so this is quite simple. Data is there, but how the machine is connecting to the SQL if you haven't done anything on the SQL side. So what I'm going to do here on the SQL, again, I'm going to use the SQL Management Studio. And of course, it does take a little bit of time to open. While it's opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Leave your comments and questions on the comment section below. And if you have any question, remember to use the hashtag AskRaphael, so it's easier for me to find and answer your question quite quickly. Okay, back here on the server, let me just connect to the server and the instance for the configuration manager. That's the default instance. And here I'm going to expand security, logins, and I can see here the server 04 or 004 has been added there. I haven't done anything. The setup of the management point has done this for us. So if I right click, go properties, we can see that this machine is capable to connect to the server. It's just a public, it has no rights to do anything. And the only database it can connect is the CM underscore P01. We can see here the others are disabled. But what rights this server or this account has on this database? If we scroll down here, the row membership, we can see that the server is member of SMS underscore DB row underscore MP and SMS DB row underscore MP user SVC. So this is actually giving that account or that computer account rights to do whatever the management point needs to do. We don't need to do anything else. And it doesn't have more rights that it should have. So we don't need to play around, but in case of troubleshooting, try to open the IIS. Try to open Internet Explorer and browse it to the MP cert and MP list. If there is a problem, we can come here on the database, check if the rights are correct. Most of the time, someone play around with the rights. Of course, there could be other problems, but this is quite the beginning of any troubleshooting. Okay, that's it for this video. It's a long and this explains a lot more about the management point that I hope you knew before you start watching this video. So hope to see you on the next one and see you by now.